How many goals have you had that you just woke up one day and said, this isn't aligned, or maybe this isn't the person I want to be, or maybe I'm not willing to do the work or the effort necessary, versus if you've ever had a philosophy about life, if you've ever had a mission statement, a credo? Is it called a credo?
It could be.
I think it might be called a credo. If you've ever had that, it doesn't really change, it evolves. And I think those are very different.
I think that we can uncover what we believe and who we really are. And I think that that's the process of growth. And I always say this to my clients, make sure your goals are in alignment with your core essence.
Next Level Nation, today, for episode number 2087, here's why goals aren't enough. You know us, we're big on goal setting, we're big on habit tracking, we're big on all that. And what if setting the goal every single time or setting a new goal just isn't enough? So Taryn and I were watching Alone. I get a lot of ideas from Alone. For those who don't know, Alone is a show where you go out in nature and I think they pick 10 contestants and you got to survive longer than everybody else. What do you got?
Do they sign a waiver of you might die?
Probably they have to, yeah. This one's in Australia. So like there's a lot of stuff in Australia.
Something crazy, like 80% of the population of Australia is all like on the side where Sydney is.
Interesting.
5.6 million people in Sydney.
I did not know that. So this is actually in Tasmania, which I didn't realize, I believe is an island south of Australia.
Total population of Australia, 27 million, I believe.
It's a big place for 27 million.
That's what I'm saying. Not a lot of people. My point of that is that show is probably scary as fuck because Emilia, she used to travel there and there were caves that she went deep into and saw. I mean, she was in places where she's like, I'm not sure that more than 100 people had ever been in.
It's a hard pass.
Yeah.
She's braver.
There was villagers and villages and stuff. She was telling me all about it.
Braver than I.
So, yeah, it was sweetheart. That's kind of reckless, but also kind of awesome.
So here's the point. Okay. I have a delusional belief that I could stay out there longer than most people. Maybe delusional, maybe not. Maybe we'll figure it out. I don't know. But Tara and I are watching it, and there was like 3 people who left on the second day. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, didn't you had to expect this was going to be hard, right? Like, what? Well, I couldn't get a fire started. It's like, you didn't do more research on how to start fire? I don't understand. Like, we didn't come fully prepared here. The goal of I'm going to stay here longer than anybody else and get $250,000 is not as big as some of the people who have a philosophy of I am somebody who figures out how to overcome and succeed no matter what. There's a guy, he built a canoe. He brought a tarp, he built a canoe. This thing is world class. He puts it in the water, he's floating out, thing sinks. He says, shit. Saves his canoe, rebuilds it, and goes back out. And built a fishing rod and built a reel. Like, this dude is a G. I think he's probably going to win. Because his philosophy, it's not about the goal. This is the type of person that he is. Where I think some of the other people, and again, would I last? Probably not. I probably would not last out there, so don't...
You'd last longer than 2 days, man.
I think I'd last longer than 2 days, but also, so my brother-in-law's wife's brother-in-law won Alone. Alan, he won the fucking show.
That's awesome.
He won, like
my wife's brother's uncle, cousin's nephew.
I'm like kind of, sort of, not really related to him, but I met him at a wedding. Super cool dude. He won one of the seasons.
That's awesome.
And I think he was out there for like 45 days, and he was like, "Yeah, I could have stayed out there for a lot longer." It's like, my goodness, but that's who he is. So yeah, there's a difference between setting a goal and then creating a philosophy, and I thought it would be cool to talk about that.
Well, we've talked about this in group coaching. We've talked about this on monthly meetups. There's 3 main facets of all of us. There's the identity level. That's the deepest level. Then there's the process level. Results often come as a result of great process. And then there's the result. The result is last. If you want a better result, you have to have a better identity. At the beginning, when we did the embarrassment episode 2 or 3 episodes ago, we talked about the top 10 most embarrassing moments. The difference is Kevin back then had a very different identity than Kevin now. And this is fixed mindset versus growth mindset. This is So what is your personal philosophy about life? AKA, what's your personal philosophy about yourself? Are you someone who never gives up? I saw a video by Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy is in his late 80s, I want to say. And by the way, I did look it up. Australia is 27 million people. I don't know why that's important to me. It's just, I like to know stats about the globe. I'm a big fan. I want to understand how the whole world works, and you got to know. So that means 5.6 million people are in one area, in that whole continent.
That's wild.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So, AKA, this show is in the wilderness of the wilderness of the wilderness, right? I mean, this is far from any Taco
this
Bell.
is the this is out in the middle of, you got to get a boat to come get you, or a helicopter in some cases. This is out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
And you sign a thing that says if you die, sorry.
They don't really talk about that, but I have an assumption that they have to say, look, if something bad happens to you, it's not on us. And this is nature. Like, we can't control this. I have to assume.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Just like when I was almost cast for Love Island. Hey, just so you know, if you lose your soul, it's not really our fault.
If you come home with a giant cocaine habit, that's on you, not us.
That's on you, not us.
Seems fair.
Yeah, and if you lose and destroy all of your relationships and your future reputation, then
you can't blame
on us. Okay, so anyways, the philosophy, the identity. What's your belief about yourself? When we're little kids, we identify as a certain thing. And this is really outside of our control, unfortunately. So let's say you're a little kid and you start playing sports and you suck. If you identify as, oh shit, I suck, then you're not going to continue to get better. You're not going to continue to play sports. So for me, I was told I'm bad at English. I'm really good at math. So naturally I was drawn to math, and then I got better at math. And then I just ran off to the races, and I got straight A's in every math class I've ever done. I've never gotten a B in math in my entire history of my life. And the unfortunate part about that is if you develop a fixed mindset about yourself in any area, you're basically... So this is one of the problems about personal development, and it honestly it's a struggle for me as a coach. People's identity is so limiting. People be like, well, I'm not that gritty. Why the fuck not? What do you mean? Like, you can develop grit. There's studies on this. I'm gritty. You're super gritty. It annoys me that you don't highlight that. You're like, yeah, kind of. You'd last more than 2 days. Of course you would.
I don't know, man. My issue is, again, the being hungry and being cold part. Like, I don't really worry too much about that. It's I don't know if I would want to kill an animal to eat it. Seriously, like, imagine.
Yeah.
One of the dudes judo chopped the fish to death. He caught a fish and he just judo chopped it to death. I was like,
you have to, man. You got to survive.
I don't know.
But it's for a show, right? It's like,
yeah.
You ever watch, what is it? What's the guy? British ex-Special Forces, goes out into the wilderness, Man versus Wild.
Bear Grylls?
It's like Bear Grylls. You didn't have to
that whole show, fake.
Yeah. Well,
that whole show. Dude used to sleep in hotels. Fake. I'm serious. The whole show is fake.
It's like eating Taco Bell in a hotel.
Yeah. The whole show is fake.
After killing a 200-year-old tortoise.
There was
what are we doing?
A scene where he's like, I got to test out this rock to make sure it's safe, and then he jumps across. People found it's right next to the road. This is you can literally pull your car over and do the same thing that he did. The whole thing's fake. Sorry, Bear. You're a fraud.
Oh, man,
Allegedly.
NLU listener, what is happening? I just wanted to jump in here and let you know, if you want to get to the next level faster, we have a free virtual monthly meetup at the first Thursday of every month. You can connect with like-minded people and become a bigger part of this amazing global community. The link to register will be in the show notes. So the point of this episode, though, is the identity level. And here's the thing. In my coaching, I'm always trying to, and I said this to a client recently because I've been coaching with her for a long time. I said, I'm trying to reprogram you, and you're giving me permission to do that. Like, everything we talk about is me just realigning your beliefs. So when we did the episode about the 10 embarrassing moments and you went back and told those stories, my brain had a lot of things come up of how fucking limited you used to think. And I'm not trying to be unkind. This version of Kevin is so much more capable than that version of Kev, because this version of Kevin has a growth mindset and he's not limited by I'm not gritty or I'm not that smart. Like, what do you even mean I'm not that smart? Compared to who? What are we even talking about, right? So unfortunately, when we're kids, we don't know about a growth mindset, and we don't know about neuroplasticity, and we don't know that you can change your brain chemically, functionally, and structurally, and you don't know that you can basically, you can become thousands of times better over time. And anyone can do this, even if you're starting from a very, very, very low place. Because a lot of people will say, well, what about mentally challenged people and all this kind of stuff? They can get a lot better too. Everybody can get a lot better. Like, there's no one who is like capped. You can't get any better. And I had a client with no arms and no legs. It's unbelievable. Like, what people are capable of is unbelievable, but we limit ourselves with these fucking identities. So anyways, my philosophy, my personal philosophy, is an identity that I think is empowering. And I used to have disempowering identities, like, you know, I'm really fun. That was a really disempowering identity for me because I would try to be fun. And that was really detrimental with the alcohol and the parties. And so the identity you hold changes everything. And I'm all about goals. I think goals is 1/3 of the equation. I think goals, process, and identity. But identity, hands down, is the most important because hopefully your goals are a byproduct of your identity.
How does somebody make a philosophy? We only have like 5 minutes, squad, just because Alan and I are crunched on time today. But how does somebody make a philosophy? How does that happen?
Well, you and I said this probably around episode 400 or something way back. I said, we're kind of modern day philosophers. And you said, interesting. How do you make a philosophy? It's a belief about life. It's a belief about yourself. It's a belief about your purpose. And all of those are made up. Like, you can choose. You didn't decide to speak English. You were born in an English-speaking country. You didn't decide to be jacked. You wanted significance and were short, and girls didn't like short guys that weren't jacked. Like, I hope that people realize that you can reprogram yourself. So what is a philosophy? How do you create one? You literally have to decide, I'm going to change my identity. I'm going to change my belief about myself. And then you have to work on it. Or you have to have a coach who gets the aha moment for you. Emilia always jokes. She says, you give everyone the goddamn fish. Like, let them learn to fish. Listen, I don't have time for that shit. Like, I got to get this fish and give it to them because I'm not convinced they're going to go do this contemplation on their own. And so for example, I have one client who thought she was really unattractive, and it's just wrong. You're absolutely wrong. I'm certain no one else thinks that. I'm 100% certain, actually. They fucking told me. And you're just inaccurate. So you have to change your identity. And that takes a long time because inside she still feels like a 3, even though the outside world sees her as a 10. And that's really unfortunate because she's only going to do things that a 3 would do. She's not going to know her true value. And I think it's really detrimental to have the wrong identity. So how do you do it? You literally have to like affirm. And this is why I think affirmations are good as long as they're not delusional. Affirmations are really important if they're accurate. Yeah. Like, you were not dumb. You thought you were dumb.
I wasn't smart.
Compared to who? What does that even mean?
Compared to who I knew I needed to be. I think that.
Kids or something?
When I was younger, yeah, compared to other kids. But when I started this journey, it was, I'm not as smart as I need to be. And I never will be. And that's the
fixed mindset.
No, I think that's a growth mindset. I'm never going to be as smart as I need to be.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right? It's forever. It's going to be forever
before.
Thing. Yeah, for before, definitely. Super fixed mindset. Now it's like a growth mindset with the understanding that is just it's never going to get to the place where it's enough.
How did you change because you changed your beliefs more than I did, for sure.
I think I just handcuffed my beliefs to ones that were already somewhat positive. I'm telling you, bodybuilding for me was like such a cheat code for doing this because I expect to suffer. I know it's going to kind of suck, and it is what it is. That's that is one of my philosophies. If you want results outside of what you currently have, you must do and become something outside of what you currently are. Like, that is a massive philosophy for me.
What's your identity now? Give us a couple.
I can figure out just about anything.
Nice.
With enough time.
Super empowering.
With enough time, I can figure out just about anything, which is great. That's huge.
When you didn't have that before, right?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
No.
Just that one shift in belief changes your whole life.
Yeah. And it also potentially creates more pain, which you have to be prepared for too, because you're going to say yes to things that you might not have said yes to. So it's not always upside, but there can be upside at the end of it. That I'm super consistent. Like, I'm a very, very consistent human being, for sure. I do the same shit pretty much every day. What else?
Yeah, give me one more.
I'm really good at suffering. Like, that's a piece of my identities. I'm really good at suffering And I just have to be honest with it. I haven't been tracking calories as well as I need to. Like, I need to get back into that. Kev, what are we doing here, man? Like, you're going to be hungry. Just fucking deal with it. You want the goal or not.
For the listeners, it's such an interesting thing because those are three. I know we got to go. Those are really empowering, but they come with downsides. Because I'm really good at suffering, you might not take care of yourself as well as you could. You're really good at figuring things out, but you might spend a lot of time with shit that is not a great use of your time. And then what was the other one? I'm really consistent. Yeah, you might be consistently doing the wrong shit. I remember Kev I said this years ago. He'll run a system for years, but he will not improve it.
Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. But you got to tell me to do it better if you want me to do it better. Not as much anymore. Like now I'm at the place where I do better with that. That's just not my natural. My natural tendency is not an improver. My natural tendency is a doer, and I just hope it will improve if I do it enough, but it doesn't. That's not the way it really works.
Nice. So we wanted to give personal philosophies super fast, and then we got to go?
Yeah, I got to go.
Okay.
Quickly.
What's your one sort of credo? And what we hoped is that everyone would have their own mantra about themselves. Highest
That's
self,
the goal.
Writing one sentence to your lower self or to your human self. Highest self to human self. What's your one sentence?
I think if you are the type of person that you looked up to, that is a really good suggestion that you're on the path.
Nice.
Like, just be the person that you needed, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be way more successful if you just did that.
Nice.
I would say that's the simplest version.
Nice. Mine is to reach my own unique potential and help others do the same. Everything else is secondary. That's a mantra that I live by, and that helps me pick my goals and do my processes and say yes and no. It's a filter.
It is a filter. All right. If you need and you think it would be valuable for us to do a part 2 on this, where we can talk more about it, because I know this was a quick one, just let us know and we will do a part 2. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep it next level. Next Level Nation.